Hello, Chris. How are
Hey,
you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. Thank you. Tell everybody why we are together. This is an edited conversation down to just a little bit over 10 minutes, and it has key points from the words of an XRP developer who was a grant winner from Ripple, one of the largest grants awarded. And the insights are valuable for the XRP holder. Listen to about a minute more, and I'm going to pop back in.
Well, it's off the back of other conversations that we've been having, isn't it? And I suppose we both share a view that the future of the XRP ledger is more than just what Ripple are building, and there's a lot more being built on top of the XRP ledger, and that has only just started to happen now. So whilst I'm absolutely a believer in the in what Ripple are doing and the cross-border payments, no doubt, I'm also a firm believer that there are Ripple-sized companies to come in the future, and that those companies, some of them have just started, some haven't even been thought of yet, but it's coming. In my opinion, it's coming, and it's because of the underlying technology of the XRP ledger itself. So I'm really keen on seeing more content put out there that's other reasons to get excited about the XRP ledger than just the continual narrative about what Ripple are doing.
Chris recognizes that developer-led content can tell the XRP holder what is really going on beyond the press releases that are centered around Ripple. Let's continue.
Again, to be clear, not that I'm still very much a fan of what Ripple are doing and everything else. I just think there's more to the XRP ledger than just what Ripple do. And that's really what we've sort of been talking about. And we want to try and shine a light on what else is going on and where that future is going to take us. So, yeah, as a developer, I'm coming at this from the tech. I'm usually the guy that's watching these videos, not on them. I'm in the background tapping away. But I just think if we are going to put more content out about the kind of topic I've discussed, then what better way to do it than have it to be developer-led? So developer-led content where we can actually talk about what's really going on, what's really being built right now, and then surmise where that might take us in 5 years' time, because there's a lot of really cool stuff being developed, not only projects on the ledger, but also amendments that are going to be coming over the next few years or in months to few years, which, are really going to they're going to be really exciting for those that of us are already in the space, but they're going to be exciting to those that are not and are going to attract more people onto the ledger. So our discussion is kind of been centered around this idea of having more developer-led content. So yeah, we intend to try and launch a almost like a platform for developers to be able to talk, at a technical level. I don't think there's anything wrong with developers on screen talking tech, as long as by the end of that conversation, we've managed to, summarize it down in a way that, people will be able to understand, and then most importantly, get excited about. I just think that there's so much that we could be talking about within this space, and we're not really talking about it. I have said to you previously that, to my mind, the sooner this legal thing in the US is over, the better. There are many reasons why I think a lot of people would agree with that, but for me, I want to see end because I want to then see a future where we can start talking about other stuff and get excited about all the other things that are going to be coming to the ledger, like the AMM, like the Hooks Amendment, like new NFT specifications, and how that whole section of the ledger is going to grow, and lots of other really cool stuff that's all coming.
This isn't my project. I'm just volunteering my time to get the developer-led content off the ground in hopes that more developers will network and other YouTube channels will use their platform to share the behind the scenes of what's coming.
The goal is to provide a space where developers can come together, we can have interesting conversations, and then help non-technical people get excited in the way that I and other developers I talk to get excited. I mean, we'll have a chat, with tweeting or we're texting, DMing each other. It's like, that's so cool. Why is nobody talking more about this? Can you imagine what that's going to mean in 5 years' time? So it's trying to be able to take those conversations, which happen generally in private now or on closed groups where only developers are seeing it. And, none of it's particularly confidential information. It's just for the most part, it's just walled off in these little pockets. And it'd be great to just get it out to the public domain and let's give people something to really get excited about in terms of the XRP ledger. How's that?
Oh, precisely. I couldn't have said it better. And this is something that I don't want to control or always host. What I want, Chris, is for people to feel that they can freely contact you, and because you have that door that can be open to lots of developers within the ecosystem. And so I'm also hoping that when they see some of the examples, maybe 1 or 2 videos that you help me facilitate with some developers, people will get excited and contact you and say, hey, Chris, can you bring a bunch of developers on my channel? I want to talk about this or that, or can you tell us what's happening now? And I think that would be just so wonderful. And that's what I hope comes out of this.
Great. I mean, that would be fantastic. I mean, wouldn't it be wonderful if you could, you're scrolling through your Twitter or your YouTube or whatever, and then there's an actual video that's going to be, could be run by anyone, but it's like, let's talk about the new AMM proposal. And let's do more than just what you hear about it now. Let's really dig into it deep and actually see what it really means. And also let's get some of the developers that are actually going to be developing with it when it's around, and really talk about why we should be getting excited about it. I mean, I think that on its own is a standalone topic, that an entire video could be dedicated to just that one topic. And there were so many topics. Hooks is one that I am really excited about, and I would absolutely love to get some of the developers are actually working on hooks right now, a group of developers that are actually going to be developing on the test net, that are actually experiencing the use. And let's get a discussion around that, distill it down into a nice compact video where we can really say, this is what's coming, this is why we think it's really cool, and then allow other people to draw their own conclusions. And I think that will be fantastic. And if we can achieve that, I think that we will have delivered some content to the community, which is really genuinely valuable. And also really interesting thing to take part in as well. To get it off the ground, I think that any developer that listens to this and hears the message that we want developer-led content, right? And we want the people that are behind the scenes now, that are people building on all this stuff. We want to get you guys involved. And to be fair, if anyone is a bit like camera shy, you don't need to come on camera. Right. As long as we can hear you, you get your little picture up. You can even use an NFT if you really want as your picture. It's getting what you've got to say and the value from these developers in front of people. So you don't need to come on a camera and do it. Keep the anonymity if that's something you really want. But being able to get those developers on a call and let's hear from that, to me, is really what we want. So in that scenario, any developer that was listening that likes the idea, would like to be involved, they can reach out to me, no problem at all. Get me on Twitter, and obviously reach out to you as well. and let's just get the connection and see what we can make happen. This is just an idea at this stage, and in order to make it work, it's going to need to be just more than me. So we're going to need to get more developers that are interested. Although I have already reached out to a number and have had really positive responses that they really like the idea that, developer-led content would be interesting. So I don't think we'll have a problem getting the developers. I think the biggest issue is going to be sorting out the logistics, because all developers are busy, and asking a developer to take an hour out of their day, especially when you're talking across time zones like what we are, and the difficulties it is just to arrange a 1 hour discussion. You put 3 or 4 developers into the mix all in different time zones, and that'll be an interesting challenge as well. But that's the bit that you will help to sort out, really.
Yeah, well, I work 24/7, so even if I have to get up at 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, I will do this. And so that's great. And what is your handle on Twitter, Chris?
It's at XRPL 365.
365. No underscore, no dash, all one. No. At XRPL 365.
Yeah, because I'm also on XRPL 365.
365. I'm really going to give it a best effort approach, and I thank you so much also for being a part of it, and it will be wonderful to see that it really gets some legs.
The only thing as a message to projects, because I don't really want to get 500 DMs from projects now. We want your technical people. You need to send your CTO, not your salesman. We're not looking to pitch projects. We're looking to have, if you're building a project and it's cool, and you've got there's a technical story behind it. You're using the ledger for a reason. Why did you choose the XRP ledger? Then reach out. And potentially, if this gets some legs, then it'd be fantastic to have some projects on to talk about what they are going to build, how they're building it, what technologies they're using. That in itself would also be a really interesting conversation to have as well.
Absolutely, good point. Yeah, I think this has got a real chance to be the start of something. It'll metamorphose into whatever it becomes, but if we start the importance of devs having a voice in this space, then we both can sit back and smile and say it was worth the time. Yeah,
because it is at the end of the day, it does boil down to time.
Yeah.
It's one thing to record a video for an hour, but there's probably 4 hours worth of work gone into setting it up, thinking about what you're going to talk about, what you're going to say, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot more to make this work properly. It is an investment in time, and it's for any developer. You only have a certain amount of hours in a day that you can work, and if you're going to be thinking about taking part, then clearly this has to have some value to the developer, to be able to say, well, rather than building that bit of code I was going to do today, I'll spend that couple of hours taking part in this video. And I think that for many developers that they will see some value in that. I think the projects will be queuing up to come talk about what they're building and why. But like I say, it must be the technical angle from that. We don't really want to be in the game of we're not here to promote your project. We are looking to find out why your project chose the XRP ledger and what technology it's built on. Sorry, not what elements of the ledger that you're using, and is that why you came to XRPL, etc. So there's an interesting conversation, because I have a feeling that the answer to that question is going to be quite different the obvious, I mean, everyone's going to say, oh, well, speed and, cost and all this kind of stuff. But you put that aside, which is just obvious. We don't need to educate anybody on that. It's obvious. But there are other reasons why projects choose the XRP ledger beyond those obvious things. And that in itself will be an interesting conversation to have.
I agree. I look forward to it. Yeah,
Cool.
Chris. Yeah. Thank you so much for letting everybody know what's coming.
No, thank you for having me on the channel and giving me the opportunity to get some great developer-led content out into the space.
Talk to you real soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.